Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis with me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is able to get together with their families because this is the perfect time to be doing so. I'm over at my dad's place for Thanksgiving once again. But anyways, this time I'm going to be talking about Zootopia 2. In this movie, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are on a brand new mission as they have to go out against a snake. Well, supposedly against, at first the snake seems like an absolute threat, but it turns out that the snake is the absolute most nicest snake you can ever meet. And he himself is on a mission, and rather Judy and Nick going against the snake, they tend to help out the snake and getting his name cleared out and what exactly he's trying to do for Zootopia. Now, Zootopia 1 was a very big hit, and funny thing, I actually haven't watched the original film since it first came out in theaters back in 2016. 2016. Oh man, that was nearly 10 years ago. And I have 2 copies of the movie, one on Blu-ray 3D and one on 4K. Of course, I did rewatch the movie in preparation for this review, but I don't know why I haven't watched it too often, because it was such a big hit, and I absolutely loved the film, and it won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, and there were big reasons why it was such a big hit, because when kids watch that movie, they can appreciate the fact that, it was a fun film involving talking animals, and the fact that, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. But when you watch that movie as an adult, there is so much meaning behind the film that it was a lot more than your basic film about talking animals. Because they have done that before, but this, I think they just perfected the formula. It had a very deep message that anybody can relate to, that anybody can appreciate, and it was just all around a very delightful film. So it would make sense why there would be a sequel. And unlike Moana 2 and Toy Story 5 and many other sequels, this was actually a sequel that people wanted to see. So I was a little bit nervous because when it comes to Disney making sequels to new movies, it was just, okay. Because Moana 2 was very underwhelming, and yeah, that's kind of when I got fears for this one. Thankfully, though, I do think that this is the best thing that Disney has put out this year. It's not really saying a whole lot, but I had a great time with this movie. If you've seen Zootopia 1 and you love that film, then you pretty much know exactly what you're in for. Because this movie really takes a much deeper dive on Judy and Nick's relationship, if they really are a good partnership. Because throughout the film, as they work together, they still have that fun comedic chemistry of the first movie, but they really try hard in, caring for one another and, helping each other out, because that they want to continue being partners. But of course, because they're on this mission on helping out this snake played by Ki-Hugh Kwan, well, I can't really go too further into it. All I can say is that, it really deeps heavy into that part of the film. But of course, the biggest thing about this movie was the snake played by Ki-Hugh Kwan, which at first people are scared of, the characters in the movie, because of course, they don't allow reptiles. They think they're gross, they think they're scary, but the snake is the most kind snake you could ever meet. And the fact that he's played by Ki-Hugh Kwan, it honestly fits perfectly, because Ki-Hugh Kwan himself is a very delightful man. He definitely earned his Oscar when he won it for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he's just all around just a very sweet guy, and it's nice to know that he really shows that in this movie. Like, this was the perfect character for him to play as. And I don't care if you put him in anything bad, it's not going to stop me from loving the guy. So, yeah, he was terrific in this movie, but I was really surprised that he doesn't show up a whole lot in this movie until the later act. But, hey, regardless, he was great. The introduction of new characters I thought was great as well. And I really like the fact that, it still manages to keep that message of the first film flowing while expanding upon it a little bit. Like, it really does a lot to, show us that, sequels, they can be done right if, given to the right people and they know exactly what they're doing and don't have any use of AI whatsoever. Because the jokes still manage to land pretty well. There are a lot of pop culture references, but none of them really feel like they didn't have, well, okay, a lot of them didn't really need to be in there, but a lot of them actually did make sense and did make me chuckle from time to time. And there are a lot of references that only adults will get. There are a lot of references I feel like only adults will get, specifically with a couple of movie references that I thought were brilliant. So yeah, it definitely did not lower down on the humor, but it managed to do things where, even though it didn't always feel necessary, it's not like they couldn't do it. And I feel like when it came to the humor, they definitely got it right. There are a few that I didn't feel worked all that much, but for the most part, the humor that was present in the first is present here, and it still manages to work. And of course, it does have, emotion behind it, and I feel like its heart is truly the highlight of the movie, and it's something that I thought was very touching, especially towards the last act. I guess in terms of faults I do have with the movie, other than, the second half of the movie kind of watering down a little bit for me, there are a lot of things that Disney likes to do in terms of, their modern films where they like to experiment with this one cliche that they like to do. I'm not really going to get into it, but unfortunately it is kind of present here. If you've seen like every other modern Disney film, then you pretty much know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say what it is, but yeah, at first I was like, okay, they're not really going to do this, but then they end up doing it anyway. But yeah, I just feel like at this point it's kind of gotten old. But hey, it didn't stop me from not wanting to enjoy the movie, because I did. I had a great time watching this movie. I don't think it's as good as the original, but it still manages to do what a sequel to a fantastic movie should do. Characters that we know and love from the first film, while also expanding more with new characters that you actually do care about, while also having a very deep emotional core, while also keeping the balance of humor in as well. It manages to do such a great job of capturing the magic that the first movie managed to do, expanding upon it a little bit, while also still being a delightful time when, we do see these characters on screen, because they were very likable in the first one, and they are just as likable this time around too. It's a fun family adventure for both kids and adults. Kids will appreciate it. Adults will definitely appreciate the deep message behind it. The message is still there without having to feel like, it's being shoved in your face. Because movies like this don't always manage to take themselves seriously, and when they do, it manages to pay off. It feels like a necessary sequel, one that actually feels like, it does have purpose, without feeling like, the first movie with a bunch of, references from the first movie, which there are, but I feel like they work really well. So yeah, this was an absolutely fun time. If you enjoyed the first film, then definitely check this one out this weekend. I feel like this movie does try everything, and it tries just enough. Just because I'm giving it a 4, that does not mean that I'm never going to watch this movie ever again. If they do end up making Zootopia 3, then yes, I will watch both movies. I also recommend staying after the credits, because unlike the first movie, there's an after credits scene, which I thought was great. So yeah. Oh, earlier this week, I also did see a movie called Rental Family. I didn't review it because not many people were talking about it, but I think that's worth checking out as well. If you want my rating for it, here it is. But yeah, I'm happy that Disney finally managed to do something right this year. It might not be an original film, but hey, a great sequel I think is just enough for me. So yeah, definitely check this one out. I have a feeling it'll probably do really well, despite the fact that Wicked is also out as well. But hey, Moana 2 beat the first Wicked, so only time will tell. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links are in the description. And I'll see you guys later. Word out.